going on, hustlers? Better turn that down before I get in some violation. But no, it's been a couple days. I haven't put out a video. A lot of you reached out going, hey man, what's going on? You were on a streak. You know, I got sick last week, and videos I done, I'd gotten caught up on what I had recorded. And then today's Sunday, so yesterday for me. You guys will probably see this. I'll probably put it out Monday morning, so it won't be too far behind. It'll be tomorrow morning. But yesterday we went to indoor garage sale and craft show. It was more garage sale than crafts. Their spring show is crazy. You know, traffic backs up on the highway. You know, they get like 2,500 people coming to it. The fall show, not so much. Oh, something just crashed in the back. Oh, guess I stopped a little too hard. But anyways, we went out there, we set up, we made some decent money. Nowhere near what I'd like to have made for the day based on what their spring show does, but hey, we made a profit. We covered our fees, we covered our expenses for the day, and we went home with money in our pocket. That's the whole idea. Less merchandise to drag home and money in the pocket. So it was a pretty good show. Ran into Dominic from Primetime Treasures. If you're not a subscriber to his channel, please, I'll put a link down in the description. Run on out, subscribe to his channel. I'll also put a link to his Facebook group. Very valuable resource for resellers. I'm fortunate enough that Dominic is here in Syracuse with me, so I run into him quite often at many of the marketplaces I set up at. I usually see him at the flea market. I run into him around town. Oh, excuse me. But most importantly, if you follow his channel, you know his wife doesn't like being on camera. His wife doesn't even want her voice on camera. Like, she's totally against this whole him doing these YouTube videos. Like, not so much that he can't do them, it's she doesn't want to be a part of them. She doesn't like putting herself out there. And I finally got to meet Miss Primetime in person. So I will tell everybody she does exist. But, you know, maybe one day she'll get over that, and you know, we can get her on a collab between Dominic and I on the same channel. We'll spread the video across both channels. Maybe we'll find a couple other YouTubers. We'll throw them all together. We'll put her on like 20 channels at the same time. That would be just crazy, and I'm sure it would overwhelm her. But you know, today we got up and we had the flea market that we went to. Well, I mean me. Everybody else stayed home in bed because they weren't feeling well or tired. Yesterday was a long day. We got up early in the morning. Well, we got done with the garage sale. We went and grabbed dinner because Kathy and I hadn't eaten since in the morning, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 in the morning when we stopped and grabbed breakfast sandwich on our way there. They didn't really have food vendors. They had one, like, little restaurant inside the building that was open, but not like, you know, when you go to a craft show or a flea market that there's multiple vendors selling food. So we went out, we had dinner, we had this great intention that after dinner we were going to, run to the storage unit, go through some stuff, reorganize the bins, and you know, swap out what we were going to bring down to the flea market for today. We got done eating, and we were just like, driving to the storage unit, and I'm like, I'm just going to throw this out there, but I said it wouldn't break my heart if we just took what's on the trailer. Kat's like, thank you. I really don't feel like going through stuff. Now, we went in, we picked up a few items specific that people who were at the garage sale who normally buy from us at the flea market had stopped and put in kind of orders with us. Hey, if you got this, bring it tomorrow, I'll buy it. So we dug out a lot of that stuff that was needed, special items that people wanted, loaded them all up, kind of dug through a couple boxes. We kind of just chilled for a few minutes. Found some crazy stuff. You know, we always laugh at some of the stuff we find in there. You know, it's like, really, people buy this? But, you know, each person's different. But We then, took off, went home, and, by that time it's late in the evening. I'm exhausted. Went inside, went to bed. Man, I think I was in bed before 9 o'clock. But, so bright and early this morning, the alarm goes off, and I wasn't feeling getting up. Quite honestly, if that trailer wasn't loaded and I had to go this morning to load it, I probably would have said, nope, not going to the flea market. And it didn't help because, I'm laying there for a couple minutes, and Kath rolls over and says, don't feel like you've got to go down there. Don't overdo it. Don't put yourself out there. Don't feel like, you have to go do this today. She's like, if you just want to lay here and sleep for a little bit longer, that's fine. But I'm like, oh, that is so tempting. So I kind of like shut off the alarm, laid there for a minute, and my mind started going. What kind of example does that set for Caden? Here we told Caden last night he was exhausted because he got up early in the morning with us. He had to go to his aunt's, or we dropped him off at his grandmother's house. We took him over to his aunt's house so he could play with his cousin while we were down at that garage sale at the fairgrounds. And I said, what example is this? He was exhausted. He didn't even want to go to dinner, and here we got him to go to dinner and go to the storage unit because we had to go get the items that people had requested because, we gave those people our word that we would bring those items for them. I'm like, what kind of message would this send to him or show him as an example to which, he looks up to us as leaders for, to say, nah, I'm not going because I'm tired. We have the obligations, we have the merchandise, we got to sell it, we got to make money. So it's kind of like a lesson thing. And so I got up, got my butt in gear, and headed down to the market. Wasn't a bad day. Completely different weather than what they were calling for the night before. Or even this morning as I was leaving. I left with shorts on, and it looked like it was going to be cold to begin with in the day, and then, around 9 o'clock in the morning, the sun was supposed to come out and start warming up and be halfway decent in the 60s. I know relative to where you live. 60s here at the end of September is nice, So I threw my shorts on, threw a hoodie on, and I threw the tent in the trailer just in case. And glad I did. Whoa, let me tell you. About 9 o'clock, I started feeling a few little drips on my head, and I'm like, what is this? And I start breaking out the tent and setting it up. Because at that point, I pull out my phone, and it's telling me that it's a 30% chance of rain, and by 10 o'clock, it's a 40% chance of rain. I'm like, where did that come from? Because when I checked it a few hours before that, it was 0% chance of rain. Now, how does a storm just appear? But, I want that job. I want to be a weatherman where I can be wrong 98% of the time and still keep my job. But, I'm just going to be a reseller. Make more money. But, so we went and did that this morning. Well, I went and did that this morning. I met up with my buddy Dave, who also sits up there. And, one of these days I'll get Dave on the video. He does a little bit of the reselling life like what we do. He also dabbles in a lot of antiques and a lot of military memorabilia, collectibles. And, man, I don't know how he does it. He makes a good buck. He does it full time, and it's a lot of work for that type of stuff. And, he's bought a pallet. The last trip we made out, we brought him back one of the pallets of merchandise from Upper Valley. But it's, he set up at the garage sale yesterday, so he was just as tired. He's kind of what helped motivate me last night, because I was considering last night not going. He's like, man, just go get up and go do it. Just take what you have on the trailer and come on down. So I got down there, set up right next to him, which makes it nice because when it is just the two of us, that gives somebody else that you trust to be able to watch your booth if you got to run to the bathroom or you need to get a drink or you want to go, like he had a couple things on his honey-do list that he had to go check off certain, vegetables he had to go get and look for a couple other things at certain vendors. But so it makes it nice that, you got somebody there that you know and you trust to be able to watch over your stuff, because you can't say that about everybody nowadays. Some people say, yeah, I'll watch your stuff. Somebody come in, make a deal, and they put the cash in their pocket, and you're out. But, so every time it was cold, it was rainy, there wasn't a lot of people at the flea market today. I ran into, my cousin, a few friends. I've run into different people that I knew, but as the day drug on, I'm like, man, where's these people that told me to bring stuff? Out of the handful of people that asked us to bring stuff, one showed up. And unfortunately, it was the one that I couldn't put my hands last night on the items he wanted. But I see him like every week down there, so he was at least understandable. He's like, look, he goes, give me your number. He goes, I'll text you later so you have my number. He's like, anytime you come across these items, put them aside. Don't even bring them down here. Just call me, text me, whatever. Let me know you've got them, and I'll buy them from you. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. The other people was a no-show. One of them, I understand with the weather. I believe his daughter has leukemia. I know she's going through like some treatments and everything else. But I don't see him bringing her out in the weather. And they're there like every week. We joke around because she likes the fried dough down there. So it's when I didn't see them and we were set up in the same building the fried dough is, then I knew that they weren't coming today, and that's totally cool because the stuff I put aside for him and I are just swapping some stuff. He's got some dog clothes for Lola because their female Chihuahua passed away last year, and they have a male Chihuahua now, so the male's not going to wear the little dresses and everything else, and I'm swapping them out with some USB-C phone cables because he got upgraded his phone and it had a USB-C cord on it, and he couldn't find any local, and the new Chihuahua they had chewed the one up that came with it. So I'm like, so he bought a replacement one on Amazon that he said he paid like 30 something bucks for. I don't know what he bought or where he bought it or whatnot, but I'm like, dude, I got a bunch. Let me bring you some. We'll swap them for the clothes. But overall, it wasn't a bad day. We made some money. Didn't look like it was going to be that profitable of a day early on. And as we got in the last couple of hours, we actually stayed. I stayed the latest I've ever stayed there at the market. They close at 2 o'clock. I don't think we've ever made it past like a little bit after 1 there because it just dies off. And for some reason today, the last 2 hours we were there, because I had said in the morning, that if it stays like this by noon, I'm packing up and leaving. But by noon, I mean, it was just like these huge spurts. Every time you turn around and thought about packing up, all of a sudden you got like 10, 15 people standing in your booth. I apologize that it's getting dark on here. It is, 7 o'clock at night, and so the sun's going down. I'm out driving right now. After I got back from the flea market, I went up to the storage unit, unloaded, dropped the trailer off at the house, checked to see how Kathy was doing. She's not feeling well today. Caden's feeling a little bit under the weather. I think they're just exhausted. But I wanted to see if they wanted to go to dinner. They didn't feel like leaving the house, so I'm like, oh, I'm starving. So I went to my favorite little Mexican place, had me some grub, brought Caden some stuff home. Kath didn't want anything. She said she may order something later. She's not sure. She's just really not feeling well. So I'm like, I got extra time on my hands. I ran over to one of my little honey holes. It's one of the regional dollar stores that I say that, I hit in the area to see what they had. They're always getting new stuff in, and with them, it's closeout stuff, so a lot of times it's not there. If you don't buy it that day, it's gone. And that location, the one that's closest to my house, the stuff goes quick, so I know some other resellers are hitting it. So I went over there, and I popped on a few things, and that's what's in the back. That's what you heard kind of falling over a little bit ago. So there's one other location that's right in Syracuse, and I'm heading to it right now. They close at 9 o'clock, so that gives me a couple hours to get through that store, pick up a few more of them, and then I'll prep a shipment either tonight or first thing in the morning and pop it off over to Amazon. And some of the items, I had to do a little bit of research. The The sales rank was a little higher than I normally would get into, but when I look at the Keepa graphs and the camel graphs, the average selling price made sense to me. And when I looked at the Keepa graphs for all history, there's big spurts. October, November, December. Why? Because people buy it for Christmas. So it didn't scare me that to pop on an item that was, a 2 million or 3 million rank in certain categories, especially books, or even, a million or a million and a half in toys. When I looked at the history and saw that last year at Christmas time it sold, and a couple of them, it's understandable because they're a seasonal item, like a coloring book that's geared towards Christmas. It's not going to sell in July or June or August. So, somebody might buy it, but not everybody's going to be buying that type item. So, it didn't scare me to pick those up and be able to flip them. I found a few other things too in there to flip. And there's a couple that I wish they had more in stock and they didn't. That's what I'm running over to see now. It's about time for me to make the circuit amongst all their stores again. There's a couple of their stores that are bigger than the rest, and they usually carry a lot of extra stuff. And I think I might take an evening this week and, go hit a couple of them on the west side part, and then take another evening, run up north and hit a few, and then, go to the east and meet. And then there's a couple, like, when I hit the east, I'll hit the southern stores too, because it's like southeast, but it's not bad. I was looking for one thing in particular, and I talked about it I think before about some of the A to Z dividers, and not, they didn't have the same brand, but I had bought an off-brand one, and it just out of the blue started really selling, and I want to see if I can get some more of them. This store is unfortunately out, so that's why I think another reseller might have picked them up, but then again, we hit back to school time, so maybe people are buying them for school. But it's you don't know what you're going to find till you get out there and go look. So, but overall, the weekend's been kind of busy, gone by quick. So I'm not looking forward to getting up in the morning and going to work. I can tell you that. I'm a little tired. But, I'm going to get over here. I'm going to get to this store. I'm going to spend a little more money, buy some more items. And then I probably won't process these till the morning. I don't know. We'll have to see what time I get home. If it's 7 o'clock now, even if I spend an hour in this store, that's 8 o'clock. Half hour to get home, that's 8:30. I don't know. I may call it a quits and go to bed. Been running since about 4:30 this morning. 2 days of standing on my feet on nasty concrete floors. Today was mostly like chilly and cold and rainy. And this is my worst time of year. I definitely feel my age come the damp fall weather. Just kills me. But most importantly, I think that you guys just need to get out there and, find some stuff in your area to go out and scan and see how it's selling for you. And, again, I apologize. The video is getting really dark. It's just the time of the day. So I know several of you've reached out to me off of the other video. I said, gave you a homework assignment, told you to go to the store, start scanning some items, and you guys were shocked at some of the stuff you found. That's awesome. I'm going to ask you to do the same thing here. Pick another store, go find 5-10 items, scan them, look at the research, check the camel, and Keepa graphs. Camel is great because it'll tell you the average selling price at the different levels. So, there was an item I picked up today that the lowest price was $140, and I'm looking at it, and I'm buying it at a dollar store. It's a tin for Cars 3. It's got some collectible cards in it. There's no way somebody's paying $140 for this thing. So I go and check the history, and of course, there's no sales history on it, so it has never sold. Or it may have sold, and it's so limited sales history that Amazon just doesn't track it. But more than likely, somebody put it up thinking they're going to get that price and has never sold it. and you know, when I look at the sales history, it's just nothing, no data there. I'm like, yep, I don't think so. And then I start doing the math real quick. You know, what if I sold them at $10? What if I sold them at, you know, $13, like $12.99? And the profit just wasn't really there because this person had put it in was so high that Amazon's fee calculation just wasn't making it profitable. You know, I probably could have made $2, $3 on that item. But to me, without sales history, knowing that it's going to sell, I would hate to go into them, even going just 5 deep to try it. So, you know, if cars was a popular item again this time of year, then I would definitely consider it. But, you know, the Cars 3 movie, it's been, what, a year, 2 years? I don't even know when it came out. But, you know, it's not relatively recent. And there was another tin like that was Dora. And when I scanned that, the sales history was showing that they were selling for like $8-9. And a profit on that, again, was going to be like $1, $2. Just wasn't worth it. So that told me a very similar item to a different brand wasn't performing, which isn't always the gospel, but you know, it gives you a little bit of better understanding how a product like that performs. But you know, so I want you guys to get out there. I want you guys to go scan. I want you to look at some of the graphs. I want you to educate yourself and teach yourself what sells, what doesn't sell. You know, look everything over in detail and you know, get a feel for what's in your area. So, and that's the most important part of this reseller journey, is just to get out there and go do.